Hello, this is intermediate part 2. You want some more? Here it is. Okay, so this video is all about playing drums, actually, and the rock drum beat, or specifically known as the backbeat. The many variations. Most of the music, dubstep, rock and roll, jazz, is all based on the backbeat. Probably most of the music you've heard if you live in America is based on the backbeat, unless you delve outside of the standard culture, as many people do. But even outside of the standard culture, a lot of backbeat influence. A little bit of the backbeat history, and I'm going to overgeneralize, so don't yell at me, music historians. But to simplify it for a general audience, I'm going to say that in the first of all, I assert that 4/4 is really the only important time signature. I am quite aware of other time signatures, and I am, as people who know me know, that I'm a fan of as complicated, irrational time signatures even. But so I'm going to just assert that we're going to look at 4/4. I'll say, well, 4/4 is our data set. Okay, we're going to focus on what happens in the 4/4. And typically in most classical music, you have the downbeat on 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I talked about that in my other video. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel the rhythm. 2, 3, 4. Do you feel it? 1, 2, 3, 4. You're a human being. Some people, I've had students say they don't have any rhythm, and I don't believe them. If your heart beats and you wake up in the morning and you go to sleep at night and you can tell that it's time for lunch, you have rhythm. And rhythm is something you feel and not something you think. If there's the little man in your head is not how you get your rhythm. The little man in your head can say 1, 2, 3, 4 with the metronome, but that is not where rhythm comes from. There's the kinesthetic feeling. Maybe you need to get into dancing. I've told some students that I think that they should dance. I'm not a great dancer, but I can dance to music, and I understand that. And I think having a deep connection with rhythm in your life can really help. With these kinds of things. Coming back to the backbeat, so the classical music, now the reaction, again, eventually I guess people got tired of it, and there was a reaction against the emphasis on 1 and 2, where they put the emphasis on 3 and 4, on the up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've seen a lot of Berkeley guys put the metronome on the upbeat. They'll actually have the metronome 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of having the metronome going 1, da 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 da, like da 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 da. They'll have it. Okay, so that this is I guess historically it's called the backbeat. I don't know, or a lot of people would call it that. Most people don't call it that now, but most of the drummers that I know call it that. I'm not going to say that I know a lot about the drum pedagogy of the day. I'm not so hip to that, but so that general beat, and of course, if you've ever taken drums, that's the first beat you learn, and then you learn all the variations. And most of the drumming that you do in your life is just a bunch of variations on that beat. That's what you hear on the radio. That's up into the day, even into electronic music, that backbeat has just kind of ruled. So understanding that is going to give you the power to do your rhythm guitar and make it rock. Because I guess we're talking about rock guitar here at this point. So the obvious thing is to emphasize beats. Beats 3 and 4. Now here's a weird thing. Here's a semantic thing about the backbeat, and I want to talk about this to understand it. I know I'm talking a lot, and we haven't gotten to music, but I hope this is one more thing. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can also say just on an accent on 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are actually the same. I want you to be able to understand that. Pause the video if you don't get that. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and is the same as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So some people say the accent is on 3. Some people say the accent is on 2 and 4. That's confusing, but they're actually the same. If you in real life, it's just a semantic way of depending on what you call it. Both of those rhythms are the same, and I was counting it 2 different ways. So I'm going to say that it's on 2 and 4 right now to try to keep consistency, but I don't want to get confused if you heard it the other way. And hopefully to clarify that issue if it ever comes up in a band, because you have to talk to drummers when you're a guitar player. You want to be able to know a little bit about their language. 1, 2, and 3. Now, what do some drummers do is then you can say, okay, you can do a double snare. Which in this case, I'm equivalating the snare to an accent. I'm doing the accent by playing louder. I'm also strumming a little bit. We're going to talk about the strumming. Then I can, any drum beat. So at this point in your guitar life, you have the responsibility now to listen to every drummer that you've ever heard and listen to the beat that they do and be able to play that beat on your guitar. Now here's another more sophisticated way to do this. I'm going to jump into this other method. You can just do the accenting, but I think this is going to give you a little bit. It's going to sound cooler and it's going to make it a little bit more clear. I'll give you a visual. I'm going to call the bass drum generally just a bunch of most of the lower notes. I'll say the 3 lowest, but who cares if I hit 4 or if it's just 2. I'm strumming the lower bunch of them. And the snare drum is the top bunch. Maybe the 3, maybe the 2, maybe the 1. So I have this general subdivision, and you can subdivide this in a lot of ways. And I hope you explore the subtleties of this right now. But for this video's sake, which I would probably never do in real life, I'm gonna just try to divide them up as much as possible. And we have here is the backbeat in terms of the bass and the drums. And then the variations you could do, you could vary the bass. You could vary the snare. Okay, so it's kind of different. So, okay, I guess I'm good, So how do you get to these? The same way that we did the other things, but just on a more sophisticated level and chopping things up more into 16th notes. But you start with the backbeat. Then you say, I'm going to do the 2 snares. Maybe you just do the offbeat. Still implies the first upbeat is somewhere there. You still get a general upbeat. That's this is kind of the California. You want to just learn this. Anyway, most drummers know it. So that's easy. Back. You see that? So it's... And then ending it just like that. So that's the end. Part 1, part 2, part 3. So work on that. And then you can start, because you're not restricted to the cliche of the drums and the way that the drummers are, you can Try all kinds of different things. But I think starting with the backbeat to get that general rock sound, it depends. If you're playing with the drummer and they're doing the backbeat, you have the choice you're going to do with them and make it double powerful. I think that can be kind of lame if it's too much. You should match up. Or what if you do the opposite? What if they hit do do ch do do ch, and then you do the and do do ch do do ch. And then you have a conversation where it's a back and forth. Another thing drummers do is called a paradiddle. I'm going to show you a paradiddle. I learned all this stuff from just playing drums throughout the year. So now that you know this, maybe watch some drum videos and find out variations on drum, because I can't just show you every drum variation, and I'm sure that there are better sources than me for that anyway. But just to get an idea, so this is called a rudiment. You could look up drum rudiments. So we're going to call this right and we're going to call this left. Even though it's actually, okay, I'll call this right and I'll call this left, just for convenience. I don't think that way in my brain. But technically this is actually on the right and this is on the left. And on the drums, if you are right-handed, you'd understand what I mean. But if you're not, you're probably not a drummer, and this is why you want to get some of this into your playing. If you play drums, you probably have already thought of this. So I'm going to go here, high, right, left, right. Okay? Right, left, right. One right, one left, and then two rights. And then right. Now I'm going to do exactly the opposite of that. Right, left, right. Right, left, right. So the whole thing is, I'm saying it. This is left, right, left. I'm sorry. The opposite would be, I said it wrong, but I played it right. Left, left. So I'm probably confusing you. Right, left, right. Reverse. Left, right, left. Single, double, double. And that is a paradiddle. Most people would do it. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, left. It sounds really cool to be able to have that, and then on the guitar. And then you can get, drummers have so many variations on that. If you learn that, you could probably just imagine, instead of doing one, what if I did the 3 the one time? Or what if I did it like that? How about I do 2, 1, 2, 2? One of my favorites is called the paradiddle. My favorite variation is right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. That's one that I use on the drum. I like it because it's a 6, and you can create syncopations, or you can do like crazy triplet things and get it and end up having creating a sense of higher speed than what's going on. So divide your guitar. The lesson, I guess, is really divide your guitar into here, and then try. A lot of guitar players do this naturally without realizing. And you can get into a lot. That's how you really get into some really cool kind of strumming patterns and really get some style. And remember that the style is in the pick. Here's the style.